Good morning, everybody. The time is 9:06. Meteorologist Rebecca Sweet here. It is Wednesday, January 21st. I know that we have been talking a lot about this system arriving this weekend, and I can't even tell you how many people on social media have asked me, how much snow are we getting in this area? Is this going to be like the blizzard of '93? And my response to most people, again, can't give you snowfall totals just yet, but my response to most people is that every winter storm is going to provide its challenges, and it's going to provide its own impacts that we're going to be seeing across the region. And this one is proving to be no different. So first and foremost, we are now sitting on Wednesday. We're tracking a system that's going to be moving into the area by Saturday, primarily Saturday. We do have our weather impact alert days starting as early as Friday night, and that's perhaps more so in the preparation of saying, hey, by Friday night, you need to be in your spot. You need to be ready to go. So it is going to last through the weekend. When it comes to the full kind of spectrum of impacts that we're going to be seeing, we have everything on the table, folks. We have the opportunity for snow, heavy snow. We have the chance for seeing freezing rain across parts of East Tennessee. We have the chance of seeing sleet. So it is going to be a whole mixed kind of situation of precipitation possible across the area. What I would recommend is using today and tomorrow as planning days, since we have quieter conditions for most of the day today, quieter conditions for most of the day tomorrow. I would plan ahead, maybe get your prescriptions filled, get your tires checked, get them ready to go, get your snow gear ready to go, as some parts of East Tennessee, I mean, truly, this could be a pretty interesting event. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to be all snow, and I'm not saying that it's all going to be freezing rain. We do have significant snow accumulation that will be possible across parts of East Tennessee. This could start as early as, again, Friday night, going all the way into your Monday. Roads will likely become covered. So this is where we are going to start to see, again, TDOT. I heard that they're going to start brining as early as today, getting those roads ready to go for the weekend. Hopefully they wait until after the rain tonight, so that would be the best thing to do, so maybe more so tomorrow. And then we are advising folks, again, if you do not need to travel into the weekend, that is going to be the biggest recommendation. So we've kind of mentioned this for a while, your winter weather timeline. Remember, we watched this system for a couple of days now, and there's been a lot of influxes and a lot of changes that have been in place. So we're within the time frame now of anywhere between 2 to 3 days out. So now we're going more so into the timing. We know it's going to start as early as Friday night, and it's going to carry on as we go into your Sunday. Impact-wise, that's where I'll say that we still have a little bit of uncertainty, because impacts could range anywhere from heavy snow for parts of East Tennessee to freezing rain. Again, now this really depends on what some of our high resolution models continue to produce as we go throughout the day today. And then even our long range models, they're starting to become in a little bit more of an agreement as to what we could be seeing here across East Tennessee. I'm going to break down both of our long range models so you can get a glimpse to see what they look like here across East Tennessee. So within 1 to 2 days out, that's coming up here very shortly, we will be releasing, again, the accumulation map. So that is when we're going to be giving you those snowfall totals that many of you have been asking for. Honestly, folks, if we would have released those snowfall totals even yesterday or the day before, it would have been very different from what models are even showing today. So it's almost irresponsible at that time frame and more of a scare tactic. I know we like to say clickbait, but it's one of those things where a lot of people will share it, and it may not necessarily be the most accurate information. So you might see it, and you're probably going to see it all over your Facebook page. 10 to 20 inches, storm of the century. I mean, it's been interesting for sure, but as we get closer to the event, folks, that may not be, again, the situation that we're talking about. I still think it's going to be super impactful. The question is, what are those impacts going to look like? So I'm not giving you snowfall amounts. I am going to show you both of our different models and what they are showing. And both of these models are giving very different amounts of snow, and I'll give you the reason why. So this is our first model. This is the GFS model. It is the model that is giving us higher snowfall totals when it comes to totals, but it's also picking up on something that the European model has been picking up on as well, and that is some warmer air. So I do expect that most of our Friday probably going to be fairly dry. Saturday, let's kind of scoot this back a little bit. Saturday mid-afternoon and into the evening, if we were to see some of the heaviest snow, this is kind of the time frame that has been rather consistent. So late Saturday and into your Sunday. If you have to work around that time frame, I would have a plan in place to maybe stay at your work, or have a plan in place to try and find the option to work from home, as roads at this point probably going to become pretty tough to travel on. This is where my concern comes. So let me kind of take this full screen for you. So here, if we can do it for you, if not, we're just going to keep it full screen. So this is what we're talking about. So right here, this is my concern. So this is snow. This blue is snow. This pink is where we kind of have more of that wintry mix. So sleet, freezing rain, you notice rain to our south, but it's right here that we kind of have that, what's going to happen? And this is something that the GFS was not showing as much yesterday. Yesterday, the GFS was like, no, you're going to get slammed with snow. Now it's like, maybe there is going to be some warmer air that moves in from the south. So this is the GFS. It still shows the potential for some pretty nasty weather going into your Sunday. And then on the back half of this system, we may see some wraparound moisture providing some snow on top of what could be snow, freezing rain, and then more snow again. So like a snow sandwich, which is going to make everything crusty and just not good to drive on. So this situation, not the best. Not super excited about this. Again, if this does happen, it's going to do a few things for us. It's going to lower our snowfall totals for those areas who are looking at sleet or freezing rain, and it's going to make travel impacts, again, still very much an issue. Then let's look at our European model. I like this model. I've liked this model for days, but this model is like really backing off on the potential for some snow. So you notice a little bit of a similar start. We go into your Friday evening. This takes you into your Saturday, still fairly quiet for the start of your Saturday, still showing the potential for some snow as we start off your Saturday, but not nearly as much snow as what the GFS is showing. Look at how much warm air this brings into our region. I mean, this keeps almost all of East Tennessee freezing rain. Or even rain into the Southern Valley, and that's going to freeze over as we go into your Monday. So this scenario, again, not ideal either. This keeps the heavier snow to our north, so into parts of the Ohio Valley, into parts of Kentucky. So this keeps us primarily into that like freezing rain zone, which not ideal either. This model, remember the GFS on the backside, brings in some of that precip, so we may see on the backside of this system late Sunday night perhaps the opportunity for some refreezing as well with some snow in place. So a very interesting setup with both of our models. Again, I want to show you what our models are showing when it comes to snowfall accumulation, but that's just, it's irresponsible. Can't do that. I want to, but that's kind of where we get our idea from, is when we're kind of like, okay, wow, these models are trending up, these models are trending down. Those are the things that we look at as model consistency, and we look at model trends. And right now, the trends that we're seeing with the models is that they're trending a little bit warmer, meaning, again, the temperature profile in the atmosphere could potentially start off as snow, but then we enter into a layer of some warmer air, and that snow melts, and it goes down into the form of rain, and then it freezes upon the surface, where then we get that kind of coating of ice that we could have across the region. And then unfortunately, my concern also going into next week is look at our high temperatures. I mean, we're going to stay below freezing likely on Saturday, similar story on Sunday, similar story on Monday. It may not even be until Tuesday or Wednesday that we get warm enough for this moisture to finally have the opportunity to start to really melt, because afternoon highs are barely going to get above freezing. Lows are going to stay well below freezing. And so the concern is that whatever does take place probably will be here for a while. Now, I'm not going to make any comparison to years where kids were out of school for, a certain amount of days, but considering the way that this is kind of laying out, I wouldn't be surprised again if we did see these impacts even stretch into the middle part of next week. And that's just going to be from, again, what happens this weekend. So I know that meteorologist Howell and Cassie Nall will be working tonight. They are working on our snowfall totals. We're actually all kind of chiming into this. We will know more as our high resolution models come into place, but right now things are still trending quite messy as we go into the weekend with weather impact alert days in place, forecasting those temperatures to stay quite cool as we head into the early part of next week. We will leave you with a look of your 7-day forecast. And again, if you have any questions, you can follow us on social media. Feel free to message us. We're not going to be able to give you snowfall totals for your area just yet, but I promise you folks that that's going to be coming here very shortly. Again, have a wonderful day and thank you for watching.